Thank you, and I'm very happy to represent Microsoft here today on this specific track about the future. As said, I am Martin Thorning-Hansen, and I've been in Microsoft for more than 13 years now. I'm very happy to talk about the future and our vision of the future, what we will believe is the future. I will represent some of the reality that we believe in and some of the Hololens things that we are going with. So let's move into Imagine a World. So we believe that every industry will be transformed. We know about the Airbnbs, we know about the Netflix, the Uber, and how they are disrupting the industries. But we will see that everybody will need to transform in some way. Forbes is pointing out that every company is now a software company. For Ford, cars is now just computers on wheels. And that is what we at Microsoft believe is the digital transformation that we are all facing now as companies. When we talk about digital transformation, we talk about engaging your customers. We talk about empowering your employees. And we talk about optimizing your operations and transforming products. And that all requires some type of digital transformation. The artificial intelligence now exceeds the human intelligence in capacity. And when we talked about the first three industries, or the revolution of industries, we saw about horsepower and the reduction of horsepower. And now we need to reduce the brain power. I tend to say when I'm sitting back at the office in Microsoft, looking at my Excel sheets and my Power BIs and what I do, that I am analytical. But I am not analytical in any way compared to what machines can do today. So we need to rethink what our role is in this and how we can use the machines. If we take AI as the first example, this is the example of speech recognition. Let's see if we can have sound on that one.
One with a chocolate milk and one with a small orange juice. Also give me 2 cheeseburgers.
So what we do right now on speech recognition is that machines is actually learning the language better than humans. This is the example of McDonald's, some guy doing a drive-in, ordering a lot of things, and the computer is better at taking that message than any person would be now. Making less errors, making it faster, more productive. So with speech recognition, we are getting some way in the AI. We also have Skype now, where you can talk in your own native language. Not all languages are supported yet, I know. Danish is not, Icelandic is not. There's a lot of languages that are not supported yet, but if you talk in Spanish, the listener would listen to that in English. So we get that speech recognition now. We get down some of the barriers for languages. And when we talk about machine learning, that's another big part
Using
of it.
technology to personalize cancer treatment. Cancer experts will sometimes tell you that every patient's cancer is a snowflake, each case unique in its own way. That's one of the many things that makes treating cancer so difficult. Oncologists need to consider the individual elements of each patient's cancer, which is to say the individual parts of their DNA, to figure out the best way to treat it. Understanding genomics enables us to get at the root cause of the cancer, but it also results in a large number of molecular subtypes that must be considered. With the most difficult cancer cases, oncologists will convene on a molecular tumour board when a group of doctors get together to discuss a case and provide their expert opinions on the best course of action. Hoi Fung Poon wants more cancer patients to have that kind of treatment. Along with colleagues, he's developed a system that uses machine learning to sort through the massive volume of cancer research to figure out most relevant academic papers and research developments that might apply to a particular case. The system could augment oncologists' work by allowing them to more quickly cull through data and create personalized cancer treatment plans that can more effectively treat each unique cancer.
So in Microsoft, we believe in much in solving the big cancer question. And I think that this session could be about quantum computing. It might be next year. But there's a huge step in the entire world of machine learning as well. And this is one of the great examples that we have right now on that. And if we go into the next part, which is really the part I really want to talk about, is about reality. Talk about virtual reality and augmented reality and now mixed reality. Virtual reality being a computer-simulated version of the world. Put on some glasses, and your physical world disappears, and it's very appealing. You can have a roller coaster ride standing on the top of the mountain, and you will feel it like you are there. That's the virtual reality. You could get center court ticket. Imagine going to a concert and every time get the best spot in the room, or courtside tickets for a basketball game, or what it might be. That is what virtual reality can do for you. We believe in Microsoft, we believe in virtual reality, and with the Windows Creators updates coming soon, we have Paint 3D. It took 30 years for us to update Paint from being Paint to Paint 3D. We're getting there. It took us a while to include the internet as well, but now we are on the right path, and we will have Paint 3D, which will be a big part of the virtual reality and how we will create 3D sculptures. Then we have augmented reality, and augmented reality is a layer of data on top of the real world. The thing about augmented reality is that it doesn't read the world. It just lays the data there. So if you have a lot of pointers, and some of the pointers you put a data point on, let's say you're standing in the Freedom Tower in New York and you're looking out on the buildings, you can see when they were built, how tall they are, what the names are, etc. However, if some of the buildings disappear magically, then the data will still be there because they can't see that the towers is disappearing. It's just a layer of data, and there's no intelligence whatsoever in that layer of data. And that's where we go in with Hololens and mixed reality. Because we believe that with mixed reality, we can actually look in the physical room and then add holograms, 3D objects, into that physical room. And that is what mixed reality are all about. The difference between mixed reality and virtual reality is that when you have your mask on, your virtual reality glasses, you will be static and stuck where you are. Because if you start running around with these glasses, you will fall and break something. I'm pretty sure that will happen at some point. Someone tripping out on the street with his virtual reality glasses on. On mixed reality, it mixes it, so you can see the physical world and embed that into your holograms. So, this is the HoloLens. It's a computer in itself. It doesn't require any additional computer. It doesn't need to be attached to anything. It's running Windows 10 and uses all the apps that we have in the store today. So it's the same platform as anything else. It got some sensors, got some glasses, transparent, and the processing unit. And then, of course, the sound. So when you have it on, you would hear the sound from the direction in a surround sound way. And as it is Windows, it takes advantage of all the other Windows devices that we have. It can be tablets, PCs, phones, not so much, but still. I got a Windows phone, surprise. There's the Xbox, also running Windows 10. We have Surface Hub, a collaborative device, 84-inch that you can draw on and use for Skype, also running Windows 10. And then, of course, also Hololens and all the Internet of Things devices that we see, Raspberry Pi, etc., all running the same version of Windows 10. And that was the vision we had with Windows 10, and we are now using that vision to get even better with mixed reality.
It's really about dispatching a service technician using HoloLens in very different kind of ways.
So as soon as the technician puts on his HoloLens, he already sees, I have a call here, I need to go to this elevator, and then actually
this is
sees
a service technician
3D
from
picture of the
ThyssenKrupp.
elevator that he's going to work
Elevators
on, and that he can zoom into a
service.
part that will offer you
Before
also
going out to the
training
elevator, he can actually
opportunities.
see a hologram of the elevator and the unit that he's supposed to look at. He can see
He
the
goes to
file,
job
when was the
site
last
prepared,
replacement
probably
happening,
better prepared than ever before,
etc.
because he has the relevant data available to him in the best format possible, and in a variety of ways he can tailor the data towards his need.
Going out to the
Technician
elevator.
putting on his HoloLens, looking at the elevator, sees the historical notes first, so what has actually happened with this elevator before. He already has all the information right there without having to look for it. It saves a lot of time and a lot of stress and effort.
Gets information on his virtual desktop about the task orders he has to carry out.
The latest safety alerts for that elevator.
He pulls on a 3D replication of that part, pulls it out in an exploded view, and can actually see which part is making the problem.
A major advantage of the HoloLens, of course, is that we
It
are
could be an
hands-free,
oil rig,
and
it could
we
be
never
a
had this
machine on a
experience and
boat, it
capability
could be
before.
anything that you
In
need
the
to
past, the
repair.
technician needed both
you
of
would
his
have
hands
that.
to operate the laptop,
And this is
now he just has
This
his
is about
HoloLens on.
optimizing your
One of
processes.
the most important
This is about digital
capabilities we
transformation.
see with HoloLens is that we can trigger a remote
And in this
call
case, you
to
want
a
to call
subject
for
matter
support,
expert.
which is
Call
could be in
Heather.
another country or just back office, 100 kilometers away.
Hey Jeff, how you doing?
I'm replacing a doorboard
Someone
out
else to
here.
help?
Kind of want you to check a couple things out.
Great.
Okay, let me take a look.
She can see
Is
what
he
he's
completely in
seeing,
the right
and she can
position?
draw directly
And
on the
the motor
screen
is
so he
disconnected.
can
So
see
you're
what
good to
she's
go.
drawing for
Takes a lot
pointers
of
for
stress
his
out,
attention.
saves a lot of time. And our
That
field
can
tests
save
have shown
time
that there's a
and
huge potential
make
to increase
ThyssenKrupp
productivity.
even more productive. And it's companies like ThyssenKrupp, the reason that we have HoloLens right now for sale for commercial companies, because we invented it or set it for sale in developer edition back in April, and then in August, already in August, there were companies saying we want it now, despite the fact that the vision field, and that's the part of it, the vision field is not that big. So you can't see the full world. You can only see it like this. They said, we want it now, we can use this in cases. So ThyssenKrupp is just one example of this. And this is what the future will bring. And when we look at another example here is this guy looking at a browser, looking at chairs, and he has some really ugly chairs on his bar. So he's not really happy. He click on the chair he wants, he get the hologram down, he can place it and say, oh yes, this is just what I want. It looks very beautiful. Look how happy he was. And then a drone came in, that's a drone, came in and replaces. And look how happy they are now. Just because they got some chairs which were matching the rest of the kitchen. And look at the wife, she's so happy. This is just, it's like a happy digital transformation in speaking, right? So some of the cases we see here is that it might not happen today, but this is the future. And this is the future track, which is good. So having your products available on a web page and being able to take it out and draw it as a hologram, that is connecting with your customers. And that is another way of digital transformation in this sentence. Just want to give you a final short video on some of the companies who is today looking into this. going to pause there for a second, just to give you a sense of the vision field. As you can see, she has the HoloLens on, and she can see pretty much that. So this is the new furniture, and that is the old part. So just giving you a kind of sense of that we are not still there where we have the full vision. And that is, of course, the vision for us to have that, but it requires stronger PCs and added technology. Stand in a room, be in a different world, in a different room, looking at the same brain in this case. Invite people to the same session, being a part. Or if you want to change something really beautiful into an industry, that's also a way to do it. So this is some of the companies that we've seen trying to take advantage of HoloLens. One of the cases was Volvo, creating their cars in a hologram, being able to twist it, turn it, change colors, everything on that, giving a retail experience, which is pretty difficult to have every color of a Volvo in a retail store, unless you have really good space. And the same goes for Western Reserve University. They created the body in every single detail, so you can tear it apart and see every single vein and every single bone. And that's a whole new way of doing education that they never done before. And people interacting with this will be much easier for them to remember how the human heart is working or how the fracture of a bone is. And with that, I will try to do live demo. Help me God on that one. So let's see about that. So this is the HoloLens. We have two here. We have one at the Microsoft stand, and then there's another one as well. So let's see if we can power this one up. So this is connected through Wi-Fi, and there's a little delay. But this is the Windows 10 menu. You can see a small white cursor where I can choose things like the store, holograms, Skype, photos, settings, etc. There's a plus so I can get additional apps, but this is the entire Windows 10 menu. I assume I'm just going to look to see if I can see it. Excellent. There's two gestures. There's the bloom where I can take up the menu or bring down the menu. Let's see what we have. And as you can see, I was here a little earlier just to test how things worked. And right here, I placed a couple of holograms. Here's the Earth, and I can walk around it. And I can also see that I can just hide the menu, and I can tap it. And I can see my work life. Pretty annoying. And as you can see here, this is an app for an aircraft, and you can see that this is actually 2D. And on the backside, it's just a backside. And if I tap the app, it kind of opens. Right now she sleeps. Let's see. And there's the plane. And I can choose different planes. Let's go with this one. And I can examine it. This is just a very, very fast example of what you can do with that. And you can go into that. And I can actually go through plane, or I could go back and I can watch the cockpit. That's just a simple hologram. But this could be a piece of machinery. It could be a company building a big, huge robot arm, what it might be, and that they want to see if it fits where they want it to fit, that people can walk around it, that people can start training on that. And then when the machine arrives, they can actually start using it just out of the box. So you can use a lot of training scenarios, support scenarios, again, back to optimizing your business. And this is a pretty simple example. Shutting it down again. Just want to show you, this is the holograms. So this is some of the holograms that we created and just put into the store. Could be the dancing boy. I can adjust it. So I tried to turn him so you could see him in front, but that's pretty stupid, right? And I guess some of you have seen Star Wars and Princess Leia, and some have seen, if they have the same age as me, have seen Minority Report with Tom Cruise. And it's just getting a little more realistic, don't you think? So this is some of the holograms that I wanted to show you, and we have very little time left. I want to show, oh yeah, I can show you this one as well. This is just a browser. So you can imagine putting up a Netflix screen or a browser, or I can do Skype. This is just YouTube. Let's see if it actually works. Probably gonna get some infomercials as well.
Peggy 18. What the hell have you done?
Oh my God! Security! Security!
But anyway,
Hello,
we're gonna look
Morgan.
at this,
Hello, Morgan.
and I'm gonna adjust it.
Tough day,
Make it
right?
even bigger. So big that my vision field now can't
I'm
see the
talking to
entire
myself,
screen.
it must be.
Right? And I can move it.
We've been testing a new kind of neuromod based on the typhon organisms. You've seen what those creatures can do. Once testing starts, there's no going back.
All right. So we can imagine having any version of any app running around in your home. And because it reads the room, it remembers the room, that when I went out and went back, it remembers that this is the room that I put up these apps. And when I'm going back to the Microsoft booth, it will remember the apps I put up there because it reads the room and can use the objects. There is a murder mystery game on this one, and it actually takes place in your home. And if you have a couch, at some point a person will be sitting in the couch. But if you don't have a couch, the person will be standing up. So it uses the room and adjusts to that reality. I see a lot of scenarios, of course, for consumers, but I see even more for commercial and for companies to do this digital transformation. And I believe that this is a part of the future and that the future is now. And with that, I want to leave for questions.
So thank you very much.
Was it on time?
Yes.
Okay,
Perfect time.
good.
I've heard gasps of wonder and interest, so I know there are some questions there as well.
All right. So the developer edition is about $3,000, and the commercial edition is about $5,000 today. It can be bought in Germany and UK. Was that a question? Any other questions? Yeah, no. So when sorry, it's a question if you get seasick, because it looked like I was really half drunk. I'm not. Yet. But the thing is, it actually follows I don't see any going up and down when I have it on. It's very steady on that, so I would recommend you go try it. But this is not anything like that. You feel, and also it's very smooth compared to what you see on the screen. Any other questions? Yep. Well, it depends. It's a question how well it adapts to the environment it's in. And it uses the Microsoft Kinect technology that we used on Xbox for quite some years, so we are reusing that technology. And it do recognize the room, and it doesn't really matter how. It's better when there's some light. It's also difficult when there is a window, for instance, because it's harder to read a window than a physical wall. So, of course, there are some settings which is better than this one, which is a huge room. If I had a wall somewhere, I would show you a game where you could see actual aliens coming out of that wall, and then when you take it off, the wall is still perfect, of course. But it kind of uses the walls and use that. So yes, it does require some good environment, but so far I've been able to actually showcase it here on the stage. So do we expect to have a version of all-day use? Right now, it's 0.5 kilo, and the battery life is, let's say, 3 hours. And 0.5 kilo is definitely too heavy to wear for a full day. So I would say in the future, in a far away, in a galaxy or whatever it might be. But I do believe that we will have this one as a lens at some point. Right. It's just a question of time, and when Moore's law is hitting in and we really see the technology expand that. It is much like a very powerful mobile phone, but it's still a full device and a full computer. And yes, it's too heavy to wear for a full day. But then again, the battery life is not there yet, so I haven't tried that. Yeah? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. When you're mentioning it, I actually feel kind of, it could be. That would answer a lot of my questions. I don't know.
What about heating?
Heating?
And keeping it on 2-3 hours?
No. I don't feel any heat in it. I feel heat for moving around and doing things, but I don't feel that the device is as such getting any heat at all. It's not like a screen as such. It was a question about the heat of the device. All right? No final question? All good. Thank you.